I continue to read and hear that we have to win the AI race. What does that even mean? Generally, we heard that with 5G. Generally, we hear that when somebody in the private sector says, we're behind China, give us some money. If we are ahead, eventually China's going to catch up. And then China gets ahead, and we catch up with them. Ultimately, and there's no finish line here where the first one who crosses gets a gold medal. This stuff keeps evolving. Aren't we ultimately going to have to sit down with China and reach some sort of compromise in terms of a modicum of cooperation?
Well, I think, Senator, I think the questions about whether this race vocabulary and metaphor are exactly right are very well taken. I think it's inexact at best, but there are comparisons possibly with previous generations of strategic technology like nuclear weapons, where I think maintaining that the US and our allies have a stronger foundation of strategic technology, including as it needs to be innovated across generations and including as, after the Soviets got a nuclear weapon in their time, several years after us, is extremely important. And the fact that this is commercially innovated.
Okay, I got it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude, but I don't have time for history.
What does it actually mean to win the AI race? That simple question sparked one of the most memorable moments in a Senate hearing when Senator John Kennedy challenged a panel of AI experts, policymakers, and industry voices. Instead of accepting the usual talking points, Kennedy pushed back hard. He questioned the endless comparisons to China, challenged the idea of government-controlled AI, and demanded a clear answer about what happens when artificial intelligence replaces human jobs. The result was a tense, revealing, and at times hilarious exchange that exposed just how difficult these questions really are. Let's break it all down.
Yeah, I think that we can be smart about how we do grant programs. I mean, there's ways that we can be smart about the
grant programs.
Well, just the various, we've had, as we talked about, some of the CHIPS Act, parts of the CHIPS Act program are still out.
You understand there are alternatives to grants. They're called loans.
Of course, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just saying that I think there's lots of parts of the federal government that we can think about being smart about our investments in AI, and that doesn't necessarily require any sort of ownership.
Well, look, I think the people developing AI, this is true worldwide, but it's certainly true in the United States. These are brilliant people. Right now, they're spending money to try to be the biggest and the best and the wealthiest. And I don't mean disrespect when I say this. I'm proud of them as American entrepreneurs, but I trust them like I trust a rest stop bathroom. I remember when one of the leaders in another hearing about a year ago, I asked him, I said, man, you must make a lot of money. And he said, oh, no, I do this for the goodness of the people. I only get my health insurance paid. Wrong. So, Dr. West, you make a good point, but I guess my question is, what do you expect us to do? It's here. And people are going to lose their jobs. I hate to see that. I might lose mine. But what are we supposed to do about that?
I think it's a great question because there's this sort of generalized environment that this is inevitable and we all have to just kind of deal with the consequences.
Yes, ma'am, I understand the problem. I admire the problem. I'm looking for a solution. Tell me what you think we ought to do when somebody loses their job as a result of AI.
In the next 10 seconds or so.
Oh, wow.
I think we need strong accountability measures that restrain the actions of this industry that are sort of experimenting in the wild with the release of
Dr.
these
West,
tools.
that tells me nothing. I'm sorry,
Like and subscribe
I'm
for
way
more
over.
political showdown.
but you're